Welcome back to Innovate That, the podcast where we explore the ideas, the leaders, the technologies shaping Oklahoma's future. I'm your host, Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell. Thanks for joining us as often as we put these out. I really hope you're enjoying listening into these. Joining us today on our Innovate That podcast, we got a great one today, is Jennifer McGrail. She is the Executive Director of the Oklahoma Center for the Advancement of Science and Technology, what we call OCAST. I'm constantly talking to our listeners on this podcast about OCAST because OCAST sponsors the Innovate That podcast. I've worked with OCAST really on a weekly basis since getting elected to office, really support their mission, what they're about, helping these companies. So me as the host trying to connect the dots between these companies and OCAST, I hope you see that on every one of these interviews. Under Jennifer's leadership, OCAST has continued to drive innovation across Oklahoma, supporting research, entrepreneurship, and, of course, economic development through strategic investments and impactful partnerships. So, Jennifer, we're excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you for finally agreeing to come on the show.
I know.
You were a popular person for us to get on this podcast.
We have so many lovely stories that we love to tell what they do and what's happening here in Oklahoma.
That's right.
But our team finally said, okay, you've got to do it. So I said, okay, fine, we'll get on today.
You know, we were talking before this. Yeah, we do not have a problem finding amazing companies to interview on this podcast. It's amazing. And it's gotten me even more fired up about how great our state is. But it was finally time, season 2, season 3, I can't even tell you what season we're on here. But the fact that we haven't done a deep dive for a while on OCAST. We wanted to do that today. So let's start with the big picture. I mean, what is OCAST? Again, that's a very long name, Center for Advancement of Science and Technology. And how does it support innovation and entrepreneurship in Oklahoma?
So OCAST is actually a fairly old, very small state agency. We've been around since 1987.
Okay. That is a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah. And if you think back to what might have been happening in Oklahoma's economy around that time frame,
yes,
OCAST was created by some really forward-thinking individuals saying that Oklahoma has the opportunity to diversify our economy.
Yep.
Needs
to diversify.
Yeah. I mean, we're still having the same conversations today, and especially as technologies change and the world changes. Mm-hmm. But OCAST is literally Oklahoma's state agency that helps everyday Oklahomans take their big ideas and turn them into real businesses and startups that create opportunities in Oklahoma for the future.
That's great. Yeah, let's not overcomplicate it. That's what you do.
It's literally what we do.
That's what you do, yeah. So you've been leading OCAST now. How many years, by the way?
3.
Okay, I thought it was about 3 years. You've been leading OCAST through, very exciting times. Like, this is not 1987 Oklahoma.
Absolutely not.
2025, moving into 2026, Oklahoma is very popular today. What are you most proud of in the agency's recent work?
So I think one of the things I would like to do for all the listeners is really provide a moment before we talk about that and talk about the difference in that OCAST is here to support Oklahoma's startups.
Yep.
And in Oklahoma, we need our small businesses
yep.
and we need startups. But they are not the same thing, and they require vastly different support systems and infrastructures. And I know you're looking at me like everybody does. We're like, okay, startup, small business, those are interchangeable words, and they benefit Oklahoma, so why don't we do it all? Well, they take different skill sets and different mentors and different financial mechanisms to help create them.
Yep.
The flip side of that is they also create different opportunities for the state of Oklahoma. So small businesses are those things that really serve and serve a known kind of market demand within our communities. They're your mom and pop shops. They're your Main Street shops. They're the things that literally serve the customers and the citizens of the areas that they're in. And then the startups, that's Oklahoma's future.
Yep.
They're the companies that are out there taking big problems and finding the solutions that are changing the world, creating new industries, disrupting industries, and creating the new jobs that are going to continue to make Oklahoma even bigger and better.
Yep.
And so that's where in OCAST, that's the world that we get to live in. And that's why I'm so proud of the work that we get to do.
Yeah.
When we look at what we do at OCAST, and an innovation economy. We are seeing companies, 40, 50, 60 new companies every single year start here in Oklahoma.
Okay. That's
and then
great.
Economic development, what do we talk about? Jobs and the wages of those jobs.
Yeah.
And in FY24, so the entire year 2024,
Yep.
startups in Oklahoma created over 2,000 new jobs.
Wonderful.
For Oklahoma citizens.
Okay.
Those jobs had an average wage of over $83,000.
Awesome.
So now we're talking about jobs for our communities
Yeah.
and jobs that help Oklahoma citizens buy homes,
Yeah.
build and
yeah.
invest in their future, keep families rooted here in Oklahoma.
Sure.
And so that's what in OCAST we get to help invest in building Oklahoma's future.
Yeah, that's awesome. And certainly we're growing. But it's a good segue into this question, though. You talk about the entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to build the next Dell, the next Amazon right here, that idea, that next big idea right here in Oklahoma. You talk about the small business owners, but that all of what you're talking about takes capital, right? Access to capital. So how is OCAST helping address this for Oklahoma founders?
So the first thing that I want to make clear is that capital is more than just money.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about access to capital and we talk about the work that OCAST is doing, it is, yes, it's looking at the venture capital funds, and everybody hears venture capital, and it's a sexy word of the moment.
Right. And it is growing in Oklahoma.
It's tremendously growing,
Yeah.
and some of the numbers are showing that in 2024, Oklahoma outperformed some of our peer states, which is exciting. But OCAST is not only working to address capital access in the sheer dollars through venture capital and loan programs, we're also looking at investing in the programs and the services that help our startups get access and actually get in front and qualify for some of those capital programs.
Okay.
So one program that we've been able to work with over the last couple of years is with the United States Treasury and the State Small Business Credit Initiative Technical Assistance Program. Right. Lots of words, but what it basically does is it gives us a pathway to create programs and access to services to help startups with all of the legal needs. So we work with the Collaborative Law Clinic at Oklahoma City University. So it's if they need help actually securing their patents and trademarks.
Yeah.
We have access to those kind of services. If they need access, literally creating their financial records to be able to go get a bank loan or sit in front and understand a cap table. As a state, OCAST has worked to coordinate services so that startups in Oklahoma, now instead of just going, I need money, we're getting them prepared and ready to take that money.
Yeah. Okay.
All the way through the programs of, think about cocktail napkins. We have Oklahomans that are like, I've got this great idea, I'm going to sketch it out. Well, what do you do with it then?
Yeah.
You actually need something tangible to be able to take it and show it to a potential customer or a venture capital.
Okay.
So that's where the state works with the OSU New Product Development Center to help prototype and do schematics for those kind of programs.
And that's the whole innovation pipeline model that we talk about.
Absolutely.
I mean, the I2E is certainly the capital piece in a large part. I hear all the time too about the internship, the apprenticeship and internship opportunities through OCAST.
Yes.
You know, a lot of companies that we've talked to, just need one or two, that is also, part of capital, right? They're able to come to you when they need help in those areas as well. Okay.
And there's even other opportunities. We partner with the Oklahoma Catalyst Program to help write grants for small business innovation research.
That's big.
Which that's federal programs. Those are actually great because that's what's considered non-dilutive, which means the companies don't have to pay it back. So they're looking at potentially being able to do business with the government.
Yeah.
The government helps fund it, and so now they can also use it not just for the government as a customer, but they can use it for other commercial use.
And so coming to OCAST first is really the right way to do it, because then you can point them in whichever direction in the process of where their company is. It may be more than an idea, so they're looking for an intern, or if it is just the idea on the cocktail napkin, you're able to send them to the new product development center or one of the entities inside our pipeline.
Absolutely, and it's those connections where we like to joke that Oklahoma is not a closed club that's exclusive for
Yeah,
innovation,
right.
that we really are an open door community where come to OCAST and we pride ourselves in helping identify where a company's at,
Yeah.
what they
good.
need, and making those connections, because we know our Oklahoma citizens,
Yeah.
we have a pioneering nature.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we have the opportunity to do such great, cool things here within the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So we want to keep those companies here.
I agree. The cool things that are happening in Oklahoma kind of gets to the innovation that's happening. The modern frontier as Oklahoma City's certainly trying to brand themselves. We are building a reputation as an emerging innovation hub. How is, what do you think is helping us stand out nationally? I mean, everybody wants to be an innovation. Every city, every state. What is different here in Oklahoma where we're able to kind of separate ourselves right now?
I love that question, and it's one that I love to say it's not just the Oklahoma City Thunder that's putting Oklahoma on the big stage.
Right.
It is literally the companies and the startups that are growing here and have always been growing here, and us telling the story.
Yeah.
And folks from outside the state of Oklahoma are starting to recognize that Oklahoma in and of itself, we're not trying to be the next Silicon Valley.
Sure.
We're
Right.
not trying to be the next Austin. We're trying to be the best innovative Oklahoma that we can be, and that there are certain industries that Oklahoma is just uniquely positioned to be successful in. And we look at innovations in energy, we look at innovations in aviation, advanced air mobility, drones, defense technologies, and anything in kind of the health, the biotechnology, and the life sciences. And so those are things that Oklahoma has always been doing. We have knowledge, we have funders, we have resources, and we have a lot of mentors who've been there, done that are helping those Oklahoma companies in those areas succeed and create new markets and new opportunities, and growing that in Oklahoma and not going to the Bay Area or the Austin area to create those companies.
Yeah, so that is part of the secret sauce. We the Oklahoma standard, it goes beyond just what happened in this state so many years ago, right? It's not just about one very bad day inside the state. The outsiders came to Oklahoma during that bombing and saw that we help our neighbors, no matter who we are. So we have the help is kind of what you're getting at, and then you add the affordability to that. We have just as many smart people in the middle of the country as they have on the coasts. You add all that up, I think that is one of the biggest reasons people are looking at Oklahoma today and why we have become this very innovative state.
And I think it's a great one of the more success stories we have, the more others look at us, the more they then go on and tell our stories. And I just recently came back from the Global Entrepreneurship Congress and had the opportunity to sit in as part of a state and local policy panel. So it was, secretaries of commerce and current governors and former governors and mayors and state legislators, and then individuals in roles similar to mine with OCAST. And as I'm listening to these other states talk about these new initiatives that their states and their communities are undertaking, I was really proud to be from Oklahoma. Because the majority of these groundbreaking projects that they're talking about are the things that we've been investing in here in Oklahoma for quite a significant amount of time. And so now we're seeing that momentum, and others are now trying to play catch up. So it's something we should all be very proud of.
I love it when other states are trying to play catch up to us. That's great. So let's talk rural real quick. We talk about Oklahoma City, the modern frontier, but we hear a lot about rural innovation, reaching founders beyond the metro areas, which we certainly have to do. We have 77 counties across Oklahoma. Only 2 of them are Tulsa and Oklahoma City. So you got 75 other communities around and counties around the state. What is OCAST doing to make sure opportunities are statewide and not just in Oklahoma City?
This is an area where over the last 3 years we have seen the largest growth in both innovations that we're seeing, the partnerships that we're building. And OCAST has truly made it part of the mission to make sure that we are providing support, not just where it's available, but where it's actually needed. And as you said, that is in all 77 Oklahoma counties.
Yeah.
So
Good.
we have had the ability to bring in some significant partnerships with the Oklahoma Farm Bureau.
Good.
They've stood up what they call their Grassroots Accelerator Program.
Yeah. Look that up, listeners. Look
it up.
It's a great,
you can go to OCAST.ok.gov, click on our accelerators button, and it will tell you.
All right, good.
But they are doing phenomenal work both in a very traditional accelerator model, taking those both ag tech and non-ag tech related technologies and vetting them out, providing the assistance, and then getting them actually in front of venture capital investors or banks and lenders and other kind of non-dilutive programs. We have also been working very closely with them to create an initiative called launchruleok.com, and it is a first in the nation database kind of directory where if you are in any part of Oklahoma outside of Tulsa and Oklahoma City, you can go to launchruleok.com, click the resources tab, and a state map of Oklahoma will appear. You can go in your quadrant or you can drill down to your county and get access to every single innovation and entrepreneurship resource in their directory and find out how to connect them. So if you are all the way out in Kenton, Oklahoma, in the Panhandle, you can now see that you do not have to build your startup alone, that there are literal resources in your backyard and available virtually that you now have access to that 3 years ago, you would have probably had to have talked to just the right person and then hoped that they knew to give you that access. And now it's literally at your fingertips.
Yes, that's a game changer. That's great to hear that we're doing that now. So let's talk a little results. I mean, again, we talked about how the different resources certainly that OCAST has. Love it that this is rural urban, 77 counties strong. Are there any specific success stories, of startups, founders that OCAST has supported that you just love to share? When you're giving speeches around the state or around the world, a couple of success stories.
Oh my goodness, how much time do we have today?
You're right, exactly.
I mean, you've had the fortunate ability to
I
listen
interview
to a
bunch
number
of
them.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I kind of made myself some notes, and I'm going to apologize because I know I'm going to leave some of my favorites out.
Yeah, no.
Just some really neat ones that we've seen recently that have those big idea changing solutions. We've got Weaver Labs.
Okay.
So they're creating a smart sponge that's designed to soak up all the toxic forever chemicals that are in the things like water and milk and those things that you want to be clean.
Yes.
And so they're developing an innovative way to do it in a very cost-effective manner.
All right.
You've got companies like Bedrock Ventures and Oklahoma Oil and Gas State.
Yeah.
But Bedrock is turning a natural gas fueling station into the first one in the state that also pumps hydrogen.
Yeah, I've talked to them.
So it's keeping us a global leader in all things energy.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of a fun, kind of an existing business, but looking at innovation to grow their business. Tactical electronics. They've literally figured out how to turn a jet ski into a smart remote cleanup robot for oil spills.
Wow.
So they literally can drop it out of the back of a helicopter if there's a spill in the Gulf.
Yeah.
It GPS tracks how far it's gone so that they know how to deploy, and then has methods to contain that spill.
That's great.
So that it doesn't come into the shores when we're trying to go to the beach down there.
That's cool.
A super cool one that ties into Oklahoma's space realm is ExploSafe. So most folks don't know that we've got a little Oklahoma company that's doing all of the oxygen scrubbers on your spacesuits that the astronauts are wearing. But they're also working to take that same technology and make it to where an average consumer can use it in their home to have the absolute cleanest air.
Nice.
And then you've got companies like Cadenza Bio that's working on stopping multiple sclerosis in its pathway. And then there's some other really sizable impacts that technology can use. So, I mean, we have companies here in Oklahoma. I mean, those are literally just 5 or 6 of the literal hundreds and hundreds that we see every year.
And it is true. It is hundreds and hundreds. And of those examples, those are people, I mean, that just showed up at the doorstep. They picked up the phone, they proactively called you, or you got connected with them through, one of your, contacts at a conference maybe you were speaking at. But at the end of the day, those are companies that came to OCAST for help.
Yes, and I think the other piece that's really important for us is not only are these innovative companies, these are companies that are being created here in Oklahoma. They're hiring local talent.
Yeah, right.
They're reinvesting in their communities. And so many of the founders that we work with also become mentors and investors in the innovation ecosystem.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here at OCAST in Oklahoma with our innovation is we're creating a ripple effect that keeps going to create other successful stories here in Oklahoma.
Right. And we got a lot of those successful stories, there's no doubt. So what is on the horizon for OCAST? I mean, any new programs or initiatives that you're particularly, excited about moving forward?
Oh, that is such a great question. Oklahoma is truly at a crossroads when it comes to innovation.
I think that's right. I think that's the right way to define it. Yeah.
We have to continue investing now so that we have the ability to shape the future of Oklahoma and also make sure that we don't lose our best ideas and our best people to other places.
Absolutely. That's right. Brain drain. We got to stop the brain drain.
So in addition to all the regular programs that OCAST is continuing to modify, we are very excited that this next year we're going to be able to formally launch the Oklahoma Research and Development Attraction Act.
Okay.
It is the first time in Oklahoma's history that we're going to have a mechanism to start working with Oklahoma research and development entities and companies.
Okay.
And actually, when they see some of those supportive type technologies outside of Oklahoma that could be really additive and beneficial for the work they're doing and help actually get their idea into a customer's hand, it's a new pathway for them to be able to apply and get some assistance bringing that outside technology inside the state of Oklahoma with the hopes of kind of bringing that partnership and further building out innovation economy.
That's good. So was this created? How was that created?
It was created by the Oklahoma legislature.
It was, okay.
And so it's taken us a little bit of time to actually secure the funding and then make sure we write the policies and the administrative rules correctly and put all the infrastructure in place.
So that's exciting. So
it's super exciting.
It is state appropriated.
State appropriated,
There is
yes.
some money appropriated. Okay.
And then the other one that I am personally most excited about is OCAST, for the first time in quite a while, went after a competitive grant, and we applied with the United States Treasury for a state small business credit initiative, small business opportunity program grant.
Okay.
A whole bunch of words there.
Yeah. But competitive.
But what you're going to see is in the state of Oklahoma, a new program that's created to address all of the little gaps that our startups are experiencing, and at the same time best way to think about it is create roadmaps for success. So that if you have any entrepreneur in the state of Oklahoma, they now have the roadmap that they can identify if I'm going to start a advanced air technology in the state. What's available? Where do I go? What does that journey look like? We're hoping, one, to fill in gaps where there's things that are missing, but also now our entrepreneurs are competing in a global arena.
Yes.
So we know they're going to work hard. We know they have good ideas. So how can we cut down the time it takes them to find the resources they need? How can we make it easier to access those resources so that they can be even more competitive when competing in a global arena?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it is a global competition. No,
Yes.
I mean, that is, it has escalated quickly to a global competition. We're not just competing against 49 other states anymore.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't work that way. So for someone listening who wants to, plug into this innovation ecosystem that we have, the pipeline, the innovation pipeline, as we've been talking about, whether they're a founder, an investor, or a mentor, what's your advice on getting involved?
So the first thing is, do not assume that innovation is only for tech experts, big city founders, or those in a big city.
Great point.
If you have an idea, if you have a skill set, if you have money, or even just a desire to figure out how to help others, there is a place in Oklahoma's innovation ecosystem for you.
Yep.
If you're a founder, reach out to OCAST.
Yep.
OCAST.ok.gov.
OCAST.ok.gov.
.gov.
There you go. Okay.
That's access to us. We love to meet, you can come to our office. Depending upon where you're at, we can come to you. We can set up virtual.
Office is in Oklahoma City.
Office is
right?
in Oklahoma City. We also have a kind of a satellite location located in Tulsa.
Great.
But we serve all 77
Right.
Oklahoma counties.
So people come. We'll go to whoever that person is around the state. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Second one, if you're a investor or somebody who's thinking about investing, or you're interested and go, we've heard venture capital, I've heard seed capital, I've heard private equity. What do those things mean?
Yes.
Know that there's a place for us to plug you in.
Okay.
And then the next one is if you're just somebody who wants to mentor, support others because you have an expertise in accounting, or you have an expertise in patents and trademarks, or you've literally led team through a big corporate change.
Yeah.
There are opportunities that you can go in and help mentor the next generation of Oklahoma companies.
Wonderful.
And so
Wonderful.
literally the best way right now is that one-stop shop,
Yeah.
OCAST.ok.gov,
Yeah.
and we would love to help find a way to connect you in
Yeah.
and know that innovation's possible and Oklahoma has what you need to succeed in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Well, and we have the right leader at OCAST. I mean that, Jennifer. You're clearly very passionate about the next generation of Oklahomans that are going to build and scale the businesses of the future to make Oklahoma. I know we've talked about it before. We believe Oklahoma is the best state to live, work, and raise a family, and to start a business. But can't thank you enough for your leadership, leading OCAST. You've got a great team. How big is OCAST these days, staff-wise?
So we have 3 positions that are part of this brand new grant, and
Okay,
come
that's
August
good.
11th, we will be a big whopping agency at 18 employees.
18 employees. You stretch that very far and wide. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, all of the from the I2Es to the New Product Development Center to the universities that OCAST partners
absolutely.
with, for sure. That 18, you're able to partner then with agencies, nonprofit world, and higher ed very well too. I see that on a daily basis. So OCAST is moving the needle. It really is, and it's an honor to host this Innovate That podcast, but to have you on to kind of do a deep dive again for listeners of what OCAST really does on a daily basis. Getting down on the weeds on this, as you said, take Jennifer's advice to the listeners right now. Go to the website. And again, give that website one more time.
OCAST.ok.gov.
Go to that website. Don't just take our word for it. Call us out. Reach out. Get involved with this amazing organization that's moving Oklahoma forward. So, Jennifer, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the Innovate That podcast has been brought to you by, once again, OCAST. If you like the show, we sure hope that you do. Please post a review. Hit the like or subscribe button located almost anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. Thank you for joining us. Thank you again to Jennifer. Make sure to tune in next time to the Innovate That podcast.